What is going on, Bolt Nation? This is LaserBolt coming at you with another Apex Legend video. In today's video, guys, we are going to be taking a look at what are the best landing spots in Apex Legends. What are the spots that you're going to want to go to and collect the best loot? What are going to be the spots that you're going to want to go to in case you feel not too comfortable with the game yet and you want to get enough loot for that end game? And what are the best spots so you can just go ahead, wreak some havoc, get some early kills, and stack that kill gap? Well, we're going to go ahead and find out in today's video where you need to go and land to get all of this stuff completed. Now, if for some reason you guys are having a hard time figuring out how Apex Legend works, I highly recommend you guys check out my video going all over the classes and how the abilities work for each character. I will also recommend you guys watch the video on how to level up fast if you're still trying to unlock the 2 final remaining characters, or you're trying to get better loot within the game. Now, of course, we will also have more videos going into depth on weapons and attachments and also mod perks. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you guys can know when videos go live. And also don't forget to hit that follow to follow us over on Twitter. The link is in the description down below. We will be playing some more Apex Legends, so if you need to have yourself a win, definitely stop by. We'll try to help you out as much as we can. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right into this video and talk about what are the best landing spots within the game. Now, just like any battle royale game, there are 2 types of players within the game. There is the defensive player and there is the offensive player. Depending on which category you guys feel that you guys fit in is going to be determining on what the best landing spot is for you and for your teammates. Of course, an offensive player, what they want to do is get into the battle zone as quickly as they possibly can. This will be getting a gun and getting kills really quickly. A defensive player will then love to loot first, make sure they're completely stacked with the amounts of armor and weaponry, and then they will go ahead and engage the battle. So depending on which section you guys land on is going to be determining on what is the best landing spot for you. We're going to cover both scenarios and which landing spot might be a little bit more beneficial for you and your teammates. Now, Apex Legend has a different approach as far as loot is concerned, because within Apex Legend, the loot table has a tier-based loot. Now, I'll have a separate video going over all the loot breakdown and kind of giving you guys how the tier works and all that stuff in a different video. But today we're going to be talking about the landing spots. Now, the tier selection is going to be pretty predominant within the game, and that kind of determines where you want to land. So now let's talk about 2 things you might already have noticed within the game if you've been playing it, or maybe if you are new to the game, you have not noticed. There are 2 things that you're going to want to know that right at the start when you're launching throughout the map will be happening and you will notice in the map. In every single game that you will be playing in Apex Legends, before you launch or jump out of the map, you're going to notice 2 things that you definitely want to pay close attention to. Number 1 is what I like to call the hot zone, or I believe the game also calls it the hot zone, and this is indicative of a blue circle showing up within the map. Once you land, you'll notice like a blue beam as well, but the blue circle is a destination that you have a high probability of finding really good within the vicinity of the area. You have a chance to maybe find a full kitted weapon or some really good armor or good piece of loot throughout the area that's highlighted with the blue circle. Of course, landing in the spot is going to be risk reward because a lot of people will be going to the spot so they can nab themselves good loot. So get ready if you do plan on going to this place to make sure you guys are ready to fight and come out victorious with that loot. Definitely is one of the best spots to land because you already know and you're already being told, hey, you could find really good loot here, so come over here and check it out. The other thing that you want to be paying close attention to is the supply ship. Now, the supply ship is going to be indicative of 2 things that are going to be showing in the map. First and foremost, when you are traversing the map and you're about to jump off, you're going to see a ship moving, making its way to a blue circle that has a ship indicator or ship icon to it. Now, one of the neat things about this is that you're able to actually land on this ship before that ship reaches its destination. And this is what makes it very crucial and very predominant in you timing when to jump off the ship, because landing on that ship will net you some really good rewards. You can find high level tier weapons, high level tier armor, and the cool thing about this is you're able to loot this ship before it makes its destination. And when it makes its destination, a lot of people are going to be waiting for it to arrive. You could easily jump out of the ship and take advantage of them not having weapons and nab yourself some kills. So right there, guys, those are two major spots that the game already is telling you. If you want to get loot, go to these areas and definitely collect this loot. But if you are going to these areas, make sure you guys come ready to fight. Now, of course, these two spots are, of course, very obvious within the game if you've been playing it for quite a while, which is about like 12 hours now. But if one thing I want to let you guys know, I'm also going to be showing you guys other locations within the map. But before I show like more hot zones, because those two that I mentioned are really hot zones, I want to mention a place that is going to be very helpful for people who might not be too, experienced with the game and not be wanting to get in too many engagements really quickly. And that is going to be a place called Relay. Now, Relay is located in the northern east corner of the map. Now, this place is actually a really good landing spot, and not many people actually go there. And there's enough buildings around the map or around that area that allow you to loot really quickly and allow you to get some really good loot. Now, the only time you could expect a lot of players going over here is maybe if the ship is going across of it, or if the ship is going right underneath the relay. Do expect a lot of players, but technically a lot of players won't be in this area if the ship is not going across it. So I would highly recommend you guys check the relay section within the map to nab yourself some really good loot. There is really good loot here, guys, so I highly recommend you check that out. Remember, if the ship is flying across it, skip it, go to another section. But if it's not flying across it, definitely head over here. There's not that many enemies, and there's really good loot to have, so make sure you guys check this area. The next area I want to mention, guys, is Thunderdome. Now, Thunderdome is a very interesting area. What makes this area interesting is that you're not going to have a lot of players within Thunderdome. They're going to mostly be on the outskirts, either by the airbase or Skulltown, which is usually they're going to be at Skulltown, guys, so trust me when I say this. So if you land on Thunderdome, you're going to be able to not only grab yourself a whole lot of loot, you'll be able to get yourself a really good amount of loot. There's really good loot tier base right there. You're also able to probably pick up a really nice weapon. And the nice addition about this is that there's not going to be that many people in Thunderdome because everybody's going to be in Skulltown. What makes this even interesting is once you go ahead and pick up all the real weapons you want to pick up from Thunderdome, you can easily go into Skulltown and nab yourself some kills. So I highly recommend this place if you are trying to get a little bit better at the game, but you want to make sure you have weapons before you engage the battle. Go to Thunderdome and head into Skulltown and kill as many enemies as you possibly can, because trust me, guys, there will be enemies in Skulltown. Another thing that makes these areas really effective, guys, that I pinpointed in the map is that there is always a relay balloon right here. If the storm is closing really quickly, you could always climb on the balloon and shoot your way across the map to get into that zone without taking that much damage. So do keep that in mind. These spots are really good because they also have a way for you to loot even though the storm is closing in on you. Now, remember how I said earlier that I was going to show you guys a really good spot where a lot of people are going to, and this might be the tilted towers of the game, and that is called Hydro Dam. Now, Hydro Dam is a very interesting area, and a lot of people are going here because you find a lot of loot laying around. Not only that, but there is a ton of buildings to explore. You have a high level, you have a low level, mid level. There's different sets of levels within the area. Plus, there's a lot of loot to collect. A lot of people are going to be going to Hydro Dam. You're going to want to make sure you're landing as a unit. And once you're landing as a unit, you also want to make sure you're grabbing a weapon as quickly as you can. And if you are grabbing a weapon, make sure it's a really good weapon, because you do not want to go ahead and run into someone that has like an OP weapon and you have like a little pea shooter. So Hydro Dam is definitely a really hot zone, a really hot area to land on. Really good loot, but expect to get some sort of resistance. So if you feel like you're a skilled player, definitely check out the two ones I mentioned earlier in the video, and definitely go to Hydro Dam. If you're more of a passive player, then check out the two areas I mentioned prior to this one, where there will be enough loot for you to grab and then engage the enemy. But I want to know from you guys, what is your best landing spot? Where have you guys feel that the spot is really good and you find really good loot that I didn't mention in the video? And which place, or like which spot that you've been landing to, has given you the most profitability in getting a legendary weapon? Let me know in the comments comment section down below. I also want to remind you guys that don't forget, if you're trying to figure out what are the best weapons within the game, definitely make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and you turn on those notifications so you guys can know when that video goes live. Let me know how you are enjoying Apex Legends, and don't forget, guys, for all things Apex Legend, make sure you guys keep it locked on this channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video.